80% of those things are very toxic in nature. Being emotionally unavailable, that was something that I didn't care about. Masculinity is toxic, which is not. Masculinity is not toxic. Just don't
force it on someone
else because we feel threatened that hamro identity nay wrong ho.
You're pretty good with
online trolls. If men listen to women, the world would be so much better. Oi, don't the heroes. Khole. After 2 hours of argument, they're like, sorry, dai, bhanera jन्छ.
Namaste everyone, welcome to The Viewfinder Presents Paint a Picture. अनि आजको एपिसोडमा हामीसँग गेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ none other than Mr. Ayush Shrestha.
Hello.
So dude, what's up?
Sup.
So आज हामी चाहिँ pot paint गर्छौँ नि त because you know I'm with great painters. हाम्रो specialty त्यही हो and so you get to choose from there.
One pot or similar looking other pots.
Yeah.
So I'll choose that one because it's bigger.
Today we're planning to talk about toxic masculinity. Let's start with the basics maybe, like what is toxic masculinity, because not everyone knows about it.
Growing up, I saw a lot of things, I believed a lot of things that you say, like this is what being a man should be, or this is what being a man is. बच्चामा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब growing up, there were a lot of things that I believed which त्यो बेलामा पनि it didn't make sense to me. And if you are a man, this is how you should behave, हैन, this is okay for you भनेर चाहिँ त्यो एउटा narrative छ. अनि जसमा चाहिँ सबै त भन्दिनँ तर like 80% of those things are very toxic in nature. It's not just harmful for the society, for women, for children, but it's harmful for men नै. Like धेरै मान्छेहरू यो कुरामा चाहिँ एकदमै झुक्किन्छन् र most of the people who are offended on the internet, especially on men centric ग्रुपहरू फेसबुकमा, they think that when people say toxic masculinity, we're saying masculinity is toxic, हैन, which is not. Masculinity is not toxic. It has good traits, it has good social values, हैन. It's just that it has a lot of the masculinity को definition, there is a lot of garbage in there. And a lot of things that we can live without.
Yeah. So we're not saying that the whole masculinity is not toxic. There's some things, some masculine traits that you like. Some of those are like very toxic practices. Did you feel any kind of pressure, like when you were a child, to keep up with that?
Yes, in a few ways, a few things that I didn't care about, just like being emotionally unavailable. That was something that I didn't care about. I was आफूलाई healthy राख्नको लागि जति emotional हुनु पर्थ्यो, I was always that.
Okay.
The most amount of pressure I felt was not in home but in school, where there were other guy friends around, and it was more surrounding the area of, you know, homophobia, like कसैलाई gay भन्नु अथवा that like using gay as an insult was so common that if someone told that to me, then I would get offended. I didn't know why, but like it felt like someone was attacking me. And you know, guys, men talk about sex and about other women in that त्यो अलिकति attacking way मा, त्यो पनि it was very pressuring because I never agreed with that, but like everybody I know, every friend I know was doing it. Started hanging out with female friends that not a lot of men in my school, men in my class did. That was pressuring for me because I used to get attacked for that as well.
Oh, okay, because you had a lot of female friends.
Yeah.
You used to like you had a good friendship with them.
Yeah.
But I think कस्तो खालको उयोहरू आउँथ्यो, अट्याक्सहरू आउँथ्यो?
No, I mean like I used to be treated as outsiders only because I had female friends. अब केटाहरू चाहिँ के हुन्थ्यो भने अब ग्रुपमा बस्यो and then they start talking about women and in a very unflattering way, and because they were my friends I couldn't take it, so like I wouldn't fight with them but I would just leave, right? And that immediately made me an outsider.
Like how is like toxic masculinity is any different or any similar to patriarchy? Because there has been a lot of confusion. People confuse it with like patriarchy bana or like okay, like even definition पनि कति confusion छ, or like people don't get it like exact differences or like के similar छ के difference छ.
I would say that toxic masculinity results from a false conclusion from the patriarchy को need लाई हेरेर त्यसबाट false conclusionहरू निकालेको हो क्या हैन. That's what I feel about it, because like what patriarchy says is that men are the ones who are supposed to provide and take care of people and protect them and all that हैन. अनि which is not bad in itself हैन. Like they should भन्नु ठिकै हो, तर they have to भन्नु चाहिँ गलत हो नि. त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ प्रब्लमहरू सुरु हुन्छ क्या. That's where the toxic masculinity comes from हैन. That's where homophobia comes from. That's where misogyny comes from. It's false conclusions from this pretense, and your pretense पनि problematic छ.
Yeah, like you know how there's like a certain gender norms, or like women have to be a certain way, or like women are certain ways, and like men are like men should dressing certain way or talking certain way, but then they come up with like they pressurize everyone to follow that.
Yeah.
You know, that's when it gets very toxic.
Yeah. So it's like the social norms हरूमा जुन यस्तो हुनुपर्छ यस्तो नै हुनुपर्छ भन्नु चाहिँ हैन. And like we can always argue about the merits of these social roles, social norms. They might have purpose, they might serve some purpose, and it's okay if you fall into that category.
Yeah.
So you follow that, and तिमी त्यो ठाउँमा पर्छौ, and you think that I'm the one, I'm that kind of person who protects and provides, then do that. Just don't
force it on someone else. I think it goes the same with like the femininity, but you know, like there's been certain definitions about femininity, and like, you know, the women have to dress a certain way or behave certain way, and like it's okay when women do those things, but you can't go and like force them to do that.
And one of
because there are all kinds of people.
One of the biggest examples on this is where women, especially mothers, are expected to sacrifice for the family. Maybe it's not for everyone else. You know, it's like सबैजनाको लागि त होइन. Maybe someone does not feel comfortable sacrificing, but if you go to that person and say, because you are a woman you have to sacrifice, then that is part of patriarchy. And maybe that's like, if it comes from women, and this comes from women usually.
Because like you know, we've been seeing these things like, and maybe that's a duty wala thing, you know. Your
pressure say it comes from children, it comes from other women, and that is an example of toxic femininity as well. It's just about respecting people's individual choices and not forcing them, you know, social choices.
I think this also comes from the place of concern when it comes about like, if you behave certain this way, like your rule book ko around ma basyo bhane, bhitre basyo bhane चाहिँ you'll be safe. So have you ever encountered such like toxicity, like toxic masculinity, like maybe in your family or around your friends when you're like grown up, like not when you were a kid, because you can't remember a lot of things when you were a kid, but yeah, recently maybe. It's okay.
I told you about मेरो school experiences चाहिँ, and it took me a while. Like, I think it's just in the past 4 or 5 years that I actually realized that, hey, that was toxic. And like not I thought that was the case. त्यही हो, यही हो संसार, यही नै हो, how things work भनेर गरिरहेको थियो. But after I realized that, then मैले घरको environmentमा पनि I started noticing all these behaviors, family ma, from uncles. And one of the examples is one of my cousins, my uncle Parza, and he moved away Bidesma, and he just disappeared for a bunch of years, and he just didn't come back, and the mother had to take care of the 2 children on her own. After years, he suddenly decides to come back, and he came with another wife, and she's supposed to just accept it. And when she suggested divorce, then people judged her for it. You know, like all this was very toxic, and that didn't just come from the father, but from the whole family,
the relatives,
which included women.
Who aren't trying to compromise.
Like I started to give thoughts about toxic masculinity, give thought about, you know, what it means to be a man. Didn't come from a woman actually. Even like I have like women, I think having women friends gave me empathy. It didn't.
It also give you like a perspective, you know, like because they would talk to you about it.
Like it gave me perspective to not do a few things.
But not everything.
Like I understood what toxic masculinity does to us. Let's say we need more men talking about toxic masculinity, more men talking about gender roles, because to make men understand.
Okay.
Like kinaki, if a woman comes and tells a guy about toxic masculinity, about gender roles, there is a certain feeling of
being
us,
attacked,
us versus them. They're attacking me just because I'm a man and you're a woman. Like you're telling me I'm wrong. So Toyota feeling, you can't get rid of that. It's very weird that you can't get rid of that. So
does it come from a place of denial or insecurity?
It's not denial.
Oh.
Denial, it's not a big part to play. The biggest part to play is insecurity, because all their life these men have been told that, oh, you're a man, you're supposed to be this way, and their whole personality ne tei anusar develop bhako cha. And when someone says, hey, there are a lot of problems in being a man, identity ma attack bhairach.
Okay, existential crisis.
Existential crisis is identity ma attack huncha. We get insecure, and that's when we go into the attack mode, because we feel threatened that hamro identity नै wrong ho. So one, we have to change the definition of being a man. We have to take it out the toxic कुराहरु चाहिँ man को definition बाट हटाउनु पर्ने छ.
Like जति पनि तरिकाले अहिले conversationsहरु भइराछ नि त around it, we've seen this on the internet. So do you think we need to rethink the way we're calling out people? Maybe we shouldn't call out people. Maybe like, I don't know.
No, we should definitely call out people.
But how? Like, because it's definitely not working. It's not working because I've seen all this. We see all these kind of fights every day. We talk about it a lot. And like, it's definitely not working because they go into like whole defense mood, and then they get very defensive, and they get into like, oh, no, and there's 3-4 दिनसम्म झगडा हुन्छ, and then it just everyone gets tired and just like.
That's definitely true. The calling out culture is definitely not working. All it's doing is making noise, making people defensive, making people enemies. And I think it's doing more harm than good. At least the way it's done अहिले चाहिँ हैन. अब यस्तो कुराहरुमा चाहिँ the anger, as much as it is justified, हैन, it makes perfect sense for people to be angry about these things. हैन. Anger is not the approach that you should take if you do want to change people.
Okay.
And if you want to just have a fight, then go at it. But if your motive is to change people, give them perspective, then anger is not the way that you should.
Like, don't make them feel like
attacked.
Correcting them, attacked. You know? Okay.
Don't make them feel attacked, because it's human nature. Okay, कसैले attack गर्दै झन् defensive हुनु, it makes perfect sense. हैन, like that's what, if you attack, they are going to defend. They're not just going to take attacks. But if you take a step back, take a more empathetic approach, and it's very difficult, I know that. Like when someone says mad sexist thing and you just have to hold your composure, it's very, very difficult. If you want to change people, then that is the only way.
Every time we're calling out, like even when we want to write like this long paragraph, and I've realized that it sounds very passive aggressive. And like they feel like, okay, malai risaera yasto bhandecha wala things, or like they like correct them without making them feel dumb. And because like we surumai, the first line we write is like, oh, this is so stupid. You know, you're getting it wrong. You're pretty good with
online trolls.
Yeah.
There have been multiple times where people have attacked me on the internet on DMs, and I just talk to them nicely and ke cha bro bhanera kura gardinchu. And it's also because I have a lot of free time.
Also, he gets very excited when he gets into these trolls.
After 2 hours of argument, they're like, sorry dai bhanera jन्छ. I'm a man, and even if I have good thing to say about women and children, and if I say, hey, this is what you should do, you get defensive, no? Right?
Yeah, because
like even if I have
you're
the
not
best
a boss of me.
Even if I have the best idea, right? And that's what happens. So, like if you talk to a female teenager, right, then they're more likely to listen to you.
Oh yeah.
अनि त्यो चाहिँ भएको होला आई थिङ्क
होला सायद
if men listen to women the world would be so much better if my dad listened to my mom कति खर्च कम हुन्थ्यो हाम्रो
alright let's see तिमीले के बनायो and explain it
so yeah मैले चाहिँ ग्यास सिलिन्डर बनाएको छु यहाँ हैन because I think gas cylinders is a perfect metaphor for toxic masculinity किनकि ग्यास सिलिन्डर बोक्नु पर्यो भने केटा मान्छे पनि चाहिन्छ हैन अनि त्यो यो चाहिँ चेन्ज गर्नुपर्छ
ओके सो आजको मेसेज चाहिँ त्यही हो केटीहरू कृपया आयुषलाई ग्यास सिलिन्डर बोक्न बनाउन बन्द गर्नुहोस् प्लिज
I'm a sensitive, fragile person. Okay, so no gas cylinders for me. तिमीले के बनायो?
मैले alien बनाएँ because toxic masculinity is like an alien to me. I don't understand the concept. And the alien is in desert. You know, some random desert. It's a hills so because it's a desert and it's like it's a cactus or like it's a dildo. Who knows? It's just that. And there's one sun that is
only
pink.
One sun.
Yeah, it's pink.
Okay.
Because
pink bitch.
Yeah, I love pink.
And that's
let
a
go
sperm.
the masculinity balloon.
Yeah, I thought that was a sperm.
So we have a small gift for you, Bunny, from Hills and
What?
Clouds.
For me?
Maybe not.
Oh my god.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So from Hills and Clouds. It's Hills and Clouds. They are this Nepali clothing brand and they have amazing clothing linings. And it's also biodegradable, reusable. Not the t-shirt though, like I always, this is recurring joke. I'm having fun. I always like this is biodegradable and then like oh really and then yeah the paper.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Millennials of Nepal. Thank you so much, Yoznaa. Thank you so much, Hills and Crowds.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching us. Ani, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, Millennials of Nepal. Yahanera kata cha, त्यहाँनिर subscribe गरिदिनुस्. Leave a comment if you thought that we are full of shit.
Yeah.
And हाम्रो bullshit राम्रो लागेन भने पनि लेखिदिनु होला because that's how we get views.
You can start your own like Twitter debate no about this. So that shared the
tell us exactly what we said wrong.
Yeah. Challenge you. Bye bye.
Habit.